is you're going to take your blanket, for you at home too, and you're going to roll it up. And I'll show you what we're doing with it, and it'll help you decide. So my blanket is just kind of like this, and we're going to lay on this as though it was a bolster. And so you want this to run basically kind of along your spine when you're laying down. Can you use that? So there's two ways that you can lay your bolster, your pretend bolster down. Some of you might actually have a bolster, and hopefully you can see this here. So I like to lay it lengthwise, and then with my hips right up against the edge of it, and then lie down so it's on my spine. You might want something under your head as well, depending how big your blanket is. The other way that you can put it is to put it crosswise, and so that the bolster or your blanket comes just kind of at the bottom of your shoulder blades. And so that would look like this, and you can adjust it a little bit. So basically what we want is we want a position that's going to give you a passive front body opening, so passive chest opening. That looks pretty good. And if it feels like, if you've got a really fat blanket, you can fold it so it's longer. Hopefully you can hear me better now. So it should be comfortable, it shouldn't be painful. And if your blanket's really fat, you might need something under your head so your neck's not cranked back to be able to rest on something. It could be a block or another blanket that's folded, or it could be your jacket balled up. So what we want to create, and normally at the studio we would do this with bolsters and blocks, but we are improvising with blankets today, and it can actually be quite comfortable. So when you lay back, have your arms away from your sides, palms facing up. And what you want to feel is a gentle opening of the front of the thoracic body or the chest, the front of the shoulders, and allow the breath to flow a little more easily. And again, this shouldn't be painful. And basically, when you're in the position, your low belly is going to be lower than your ribs and your chest. Does that feel pretty good, Kelly? Yeah, okay. So just go ahead and close your eyes. I'm going to talk a little bit while you're in this position. And I should tell you, foot position, there's 3 options. You can have your legs straight. You can bend your knees and cross your legs like you do in sitting position, or you can press the soles of your feet together in Supta Baddha Konasana. Whatever position feels most comfortable for you and isn't straining. So let it be a passive opening posture. We're not forcing anything, nothing should be painful. So once you have found your position with your prop, your blanket, we'll start by beginning to connect with your breath, just becoming aware of your breath. You can let your eyes close if you wish, if that's comfortable for you. And just notice sensations across the front of the chest, the front of the shoulders, as the shoulders begin to melt back towards your mat. Beginning to ease any restrictions in the chest, restrictions of your breathing, so that your breath can flow more freely. So today we're moved on to our second kosha, the pranamaya kosha, which is really moving from the dense vibration of our physical body into the more subtle body. And pranayama is to the mind what asana is to the body. So we're going to be working with pranayama or breath work today throughout our whole practice. And this is something that you can't touch, but it is something that you can perceive. And you'll get an opportunity to feel that in our practice today. So those of you who might be new to yoga, prana is the driving force behind the operation of the physical body. From the beating of our heart to the opening and closing of our eyes to digestion, all these things that automatically happen in our body are driven by prana, or energy, or life force. Now, we don't manufacture energy, but we take energy in from the universe outside of us and draw it into our own physiology through the food that we put in our body and the breathing that we do in our pranayama practice and in our yoga practice. So it's important to carve out a pranayama practice and get the prana, or the energy, moving and flowing through the body for optimum health. So I'm going to ask you, we're going to start Viloma pranayama. And Viloma breath is a 3-part breath, which we have done in some of our other classes. And we're just going to start, first of all, place both the palms of your hands on your low belly. And feel, as you inhale, the breath moving into the low belly. And then bring your hands to your side ribs. And feel your ribs expand in all directions as you inhale. And gently just kind of pressing into your ribs, so feel them release as you exhale. And then bring your hands to your upper chest, just below your collarbones, and see if you can breathe into the upper chest and feel the collarbones rise. And then feel them fall. Let's do that one more time. One breath to each area. So the low belly, inhale. And exhale, feel your hands sink down. And then the side ribs. Feel the ribs expand in all 4 directions as you inhale and release as you exhale. And then bring your hands to your upper chest, just below your collarbones. And same thing, feel your hands slightly move as you inhale and exhale here. And then just take a normal breath. And we're going to start our 3-part breath. So our inhale is going to take 3 steps before we release into the exhale. And we'll move our hands to that part of our breathing body as we move through it. And there will be a pause between each one. So let's start with hands on your low belly. And just inhale a third of the way and pause. Feel your belly rise. Bring your hands to your side ribs. Inhale another third. Pause. And then bring your hands just under your collarbone and inhale completely all the way to the top. Pause, holding that retention of the breath. And then slowly release the breath in one exhale. So we're going to do that a few more times. Now you know where we're going. Hands to the low belly. Inhale a third of the way. Pause. Hands to the side ribs. Inhale. And then hands to the upper chest. Inhale completely. Pause at the very top of that big inhale. And then slowly release through your nose. Let it go. We're going to do 2 more like that. And you can continue moving your hands if you wish, or do it just by sensation, however is best suits you. So inhaling low belly, 1/3. Expand the side ribs, another third. And then the upper chest, inhale completely all the way, fill it all up, pause at the top, retain that breath. And then slowly exhale it all out. Let's do 1 more round like that. Inhale, low belly. Pausing. Inhale, side ribs. pausing. And then inhale, upper chest, all the way up to the collarbones. Fill the entire body with prana. Pause, retain it, and slowly exhale it out. Now just breathe your normal breath. You can release your hands. Breathe your normal breath for a few rounds. And just feel, notice any change in sensation, any change in how you feel, what's going on in your body, your mind, and perhaps how easy your breath flows right now. And eventually, as you begin to feel the breath as energy, energizing every cell in your body, you might even begin to sense that the body, the energy body, is bigger than the boundaries of your skin, of your physical body. Let's do 2 more breaths on your prop. And then let's draw your right knee in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around. And then draw your left knee in. Draw into the belly. Release the right leg straight down onto the mat as you hold onto the left. And then bring your hands behind both knees as you draw both knees in. And rock from front to back until you come all the way up to a seat. And make your way onto hands and knees. So we're going to just start moving the body with our breath. In cat-cow. So spreading your hands wide, shins and feet are parallel. And as you inhale, open the front body, let the head and tail lift and the belly drop, and fill the body with prana. And as you exhale, draw the belly in and draw into yourself. Keep moving with your breath. Opening on the inhale. You can have eyes open or closed. On the exhale, belly draws in, head and tail drop. Spine presses up to the ceiling. Press into the hands. Let's do 2 more rounds like that. Just getting the spine moving and getting used to moving with our inhales and our exhales. Taking the entire inhale and the entire exhale to move through the cat and the cow posture. Breathing through your nose, beginning to use ujjayi breath. Come to a neutral spine after you've completed whatever breath you're on right now. Curl your toes under. Let's find our way into downward facing dog. So pressing the top of the mat away, knees are bent. Belly moves towards the thighs. And then begin to press the thighs back as the legs begin to straighten somewhat. Don't be in a big hurry to get your heels down. They don't need to be down. Roll your shoulder blades towards your armpits. And then turn both toes to the left and breathe deep into the left side body in a stretch for your side body here. And then bring toes back to center and go to the opposite side. Breathe deep into that right side body. Come back to center. Take an inhale here. And as we exhale, just walking your feet to the top of your mat. Knees can be bent here. As we inhale, hands slide up your shins, lift the heart. Let the breath lift the heart as you lengthen from your sit bones to your crown. And the exhale, belly draws in, we fold once again. The inhale, we rise up. Reaching up to the sky. Intertwine your fingers, point your index finger up to the sky and keep the others intertwined. So we're inhaling and lengthening up through our side body. On the exhale, we side bend to the right. Stay here for an inhale. Bend your elbows and straighten them. Stretch a little bit more. And exhale, come back to center. Inhale, reach up a little more, lengthen more. Exhale to the other side. Bend your elbows and inhale, straighten. Feel that right side body. Exhale, come back to center. Release your hands down to your side. Let's do a sun salutation and begin to warm the body, wake the body up. Inhale up. Exhale, belly draws in as we fold forward. Inhale, float the heart up with the breath. And exhale, let's step back into downward facing dog. We're going to change this sun salutation up a little bit. Let's exhale, the knees come down, child's pose. And now we're going to move in and out from child's pose into cobra pose. So as we inhale, we rise up, bend the elbows before you begin to move your hips towards the mat. Pause at the top of that inhale and then exhale all the way down. Inhale, rise up your cobra, shoulders away from your ears. And exhale back, child's pose. So we're going to do that exact same little sequence a couple more times. Inhale forward into your cobra, bend those elbows before the hips move down so you don't compress your low back. Exhale, release all the way down. Inhale up into your cobra and exhale, child's pose. Sorry, Andrea, I know my computer's in the way and you can't quite see, we can't see each other. Let's do one more. Inhale up and forward to cobra, the elbows bend. Exhale, release all the way down. It's nice and flowing. Inhale up. And exhale back, child's pose. Let's inhale up, tabletop. Curl the toes under, exhale, down dog. Roll those shoulder blades towards your armpits again. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Press the top of the mat away from you. Take one more inhale. And as we exhale, walk, step, or float your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine as the heart floats up. Exhale, belly draws in, fold. Inhale, rise up. All the way up, lengthen up, make space for that breath. And exhale, hands to your heart center. And release down. So we're gonna build on our sun salutations, adding some lunges. And is everybody okay for warmth? Yeah, okay. Near the end of the class, I might have to turn the heat back on. So let's just flow. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold, belly draws in. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, lengthen the spine. Exhale, we're stepping back with the right foot to the back of your mat. We're coming into a lunge. If you have blocks, you could have your hands on blocks here. We'll give everybody a chance to catch up. And we're gonna drop the back knee to a low lunge here. So we did this last week, and we're gonna do it again this week. As we inhale, shift forward, lift your heart a little bit. Don't force the opening of that hip flexor. As we exhale, move back into a reverse lunge or half Hanumasana. And we're going to go back and forth between those two poses. Inhale, coming forward, lifting the heart slightly, and you can have your hands on blocks here too. Exhale, reverse lunge, reverse low lunge. And one more oscillation between those two. Inhale, we open the front body here. The exhale, we move back. This time as we inhale forward, opening the front body, see if we can lift that back knee, coming into a lunge with the knee up here. And let's do exactly the same thing. As we exhale, walk your hands back or your blocks. Begin to straighten that front leg, press into the heel, reverse lunge. Inhale forward. 2 more like that. Exhale, reverse lunge. Just getting the hips, the legs, everything moving, flowing, allowing the prana and the energy that we're going to build through our practice to be able to flow through the body. Last one, exhale back. Inhale forward. And then inhale, reach your left hand straight out in front of you. Get as long as you can. Right hand is planted on your block or your mat. As we exhale, we're twisting to our left. So the belly draws in and it twists up towards the sky. Maybe your gaze drifts up towards the sky. And just try to create length from one hand up to the other, cutting right through the center of your chest. Take one more breath here. And we exhale, release that hand down. And let's step back into downward facing dog. Inhaling forward to plank pose. Staying lifted through your shoulders, shoulder blades wrapping towards your armpits. Building a little heat in the body. Take one more breath. And you might lower your knees for half plank here. You might stay in full plank. We're going to lower all the way down for cobra once again. This time as we inhale and rise into our cobra, shoulders away from our ears, we're going to pause at the top of our inhale and just retain the breath for a count of 1 or 2 and exhale, release down. 2 more like that. Inhale, lift the heart, pause the top of the inhale, release down on the exhale. Last one. Inhale, lift, retain the inhale, and exhale, float back down. Take an inhale, exhale, press up and back, either child's pose or down dog. The inhale, we rise up, tabletop, and exhale back, downward facing dog. Take one more full round of breath here. And as you exhale, bend your knees, look between your hands, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. The inhale helps the heart to float up as we lengthen. The exhale, belly draws in, we fold. And the inhale, we rise up. Coming all the way up, draw into your heart center. And release. So let's go ahead and do exactly the same thing on the second side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, we're stepping back with the left foot this time. Again, you can have hands on blocks to help bring the floor up to you. Exhale the back knee down. So we're back in our low lunge position. So as we inhale, we lift the heart a little bit, open the front body, and exhale back into our reverse lunge or half Hanumasana, releasing through the hamstring. Inhale, ride your breath back to our starting position of our lunge, opening hip flexor. Exhale back. One more round. Inhale. Move forward, open the front body. Exhale, we get into those hamstrings, back body. Inhale forward, lift the back knee. And we'll do exactly the same thing with the knee lifted this time. Again, hands can be on blocks. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reverse lunge. Walk your hands alongside. Lift those front toes if you can. Ride the breath, come back to our starting position. 2 more, exhale back. Inhaling forward. And last one, exhale back. Press into that heel. This time as we inhale forward, we plant the left hand, extend the right arm straight out in front of you. Get nice and long from the left heel to the right fingertips. Use the exhale to twist to your right. Belly draws in and twists up to the ceiling. Keep pressing through your back heel. Your gaze may drift up to the ceiling. Take one more breath here. The exhale, the hand comes down, stepping back, down dog. And then again, inhaling forward to plank. And anytime if you choose to take child's pose, that's absolutely fine. And then we exhale. You can either exhale all the way down or lower through chaturanga. And then we're going to rise up in cobra or upward facing dog, you choose. And then the exhale, downward facing dog. So you can, anytime we're choosing resting pose and down dog, you can choose to take child's pose to give yourself a break if you need to. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to float the right leg to the sky in three-legged dog. So stretch that right leg all the way up, leading with the inner thigh. Couple ways to step up with that right foot. You can lower your left knee and step it up if you struggle to get that foot up to the top, or you just step up from three-legged dog, whatever works for your body today. So we're going to keep up high on that back toes. You can leave a little bit of space between right and left for a little bit better balance. And we're going to come into runner's lunge. So extend the arms out to your side, palms facing the floor, belly away from your thigh, and then feel that energy coming up from the earth through your strong legs. Energy into your palms, extending. And then intertwine your fingers behind your back. Come all the way up. Press your knuckles towards your back knee. Lift the heart center. So we're going to add some breath retention if you feel comfortable with the breath retention here. As you inhale, lift the heart a little higher. Pause at the top of your inhale. Exhale, release. Two more like that. Inhale, lift the heart. Pause, feel that energy at the heart center. Exhale, belly draws in. Last one, inhale. Pause. And exhale, release. Release your hands down to the mat. And step back, downward facing dog. Let's move into second side. Float the left leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. Lead with your inner thigh. And we're stepping that left foot up. So if that means you need to drop your right knee to do that, go ahead and do that. But somehow get that left foot up there. All right, so we're moving into runner's lunge. Again, you can give yourself a little bit of space between your left and right foot. Arms float up, belly away from your thigh. Reach through the crown and your back heel. Feel that energy from the earth through your strong legs rising up, building heat in your body. Take one more breath. Intertwine your fingers. Send those knuckles back. Come all the way up. So just take a normal breath here, and then we'll start our 3 rounds of breath with breath retention at the top of your inhale. So as you inhale, lift the heart a little bit more. Breathe into those collarbones. Pause. Exhale, using your ujjayi breath. Inhale. Pause at the top. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Lift the heart a little bit more. And exhale. Release. Hands come down. Step back. Downward facing dog. So you have option from here. Either take child's pose and take a little break if you feel like your breath is getting away from you, or we're going to flow, coming forward to plank pose, lowering down, either full plank or half plank. Using the inhale to open the heart center in up dog or cobra, your choice. And your exhale takes you back to down dog. You've got 3 breaths. You choose your resting pose, child's pose, or down dog. Notice your breath. Notice the energy flowing through your body. Notice sensations in the body. You've got 1 more breath here. And then use your next inhale to rise to table and your exhale to find downward facing dog. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, bend your knees, look between your hands, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen and lift the heart. Let it float up with the breath. Exhale, we bow down. Inhale, we rise up. Draw into your heart center. And release. Let's just take a couple breaths here in mountain pose. You guys were kind of upside down for a long time. If you wish, bring your hands to your heart center. One palm over the other. Close your eyes and breathe into your hands. Feel that flow of breath into your body and feel the release of the breath out of your body. So breathe in the energy of the atmosphere all around us into our physiology, into every cell of our body. And exhale, we release back out. Can you guys hear me okay back there with the heat on? Yeah. Let's release the hands. And we're going to start just from standing. You can bring your hands to your hips. We're going to step back with the right foot. So take an inhale. Exhale, bend your knees. Step the right foot back for warrior 1. So we're going to do our warrior 1 a little bit differently. Your left hand to the small of your back. Let's start with that front leg straight. As we inhale, reach the right arm up to the sky, bend your front knee, and then exhale, come back out of it. We're just going to do this, kind of get warmed up a couple of times. Inhale, reach, and exhale. One more. Inhale, reach, and exhale. Release. This time as we inhale into it, we're going to stay here. So really bring your focus to that right arm, like you're reaching up through that elbow, keeping that front knee bent. And keep reaching. So we're lengthening that right side body. Lengthening, lengthening. Take an inhale here. Pause at the top of your inhale. Exhale, slowly release. 2 more like that. Inhale, reach up, fill the heart center with breath and retain. Slowly exhale with your ujjayi breath, and one last one. Reach up, really lengthen that right side body. And slow exhale. Take one more inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to fold forward like a runner's lunge and keep reaching through that elbow like someone's got a hold of your wrist and is pulling you forward, pulling you. And then inhale to come all the way up. Release your hand to your hips. Step to the top of your mat. Let your hands float down. Close your eyes. Turn it up. Turn it up. Oh, it's running right now. So just notice the sensations of your right side body and your left side body. Notice how your right side might feel more enlivened, more energized, maybe even longer, taller. Take that moment for present moment awareness of what's going on in the body. Feeling that prana. And then float your eyes open. And let's move to our second side. Let's even out the body. Hands to your hips, take an inhale, exhale, sit down, step back with the left foot. So same thing, this time right hand to the small of your back for warrior one. Left hand will reach up on the inhale as you bend the knee. Exhale, straighten and come back out of it. And you can make space between left and right if you're struggling with balance. Inhale, reach up, lengthen, reach to the elbow. Exhale, come out. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. This time we stay in it as we inhale into it. Pause at the top of your inhale. Lengthen a little bit more. Exhale slowly through the nose. 2 more breaths like that. Inhale. Lengthen up even more. Pause at the top of your inhale. Feel that energy in the heart center. 1 more breath like that. Exhale that one out. Belly draws in. Last one. Inhale. Lengthen even more. Retain the inhale. And slowly exhale it out. This time as we inhale, we're folding forward in our runner lunge position and really reach through that left side body. And as you exhale, feel the belly draw in and twist a little bit to the left. Keep reaching like someone's pulling you from the wrist. 1 more breath. Draw that energy up through your legs. Next inhale, rise up, straighten your front leg. Release your hand. Step to the top of your mat, close your eyes. Now notice your left side body. Notice sensations. Notice what you're feeling. Notice if that side feels taller now. Just take 1 more round of breath here. And then let's open the eyes. Inhale, reach up to the side. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale, step back into downward facing dog. Let's float the right leg to the sky and 3-legged dog. And as you exhale, step it up between your hands. Staying high up for a runner's lunge once again. Reach your arms out behind you. Intertwine your fingers. And then come all the way up. So we've been here once already before, lifting the heart as we send the knuckles down towards the back knee. And then let's pivot that back foot down, coming into warrior two. So float your fingers up and bending that front knee. And bring your awareness from as though there's a line of energy, a string running from your front fingertips, down your arms, through your shoulders, through your heart center, to your back arm. Shoulders are soft. Take 1 more breath here. And then we straighten the front leg. We're moving into triangle pose. So reach with that right hand forward and then exhale, let that hand come down. Find your triangle pose. I'm just going to switch my position here. So in your triangle pose, maybe you're looking up towards the ceiling, or maybe you're looking towards your front foot to be more grounding. On your next inhale, reach your top arm overhead towards the front of the room, palm facing the floor. Inhale, bring it back to your original position. 2 more breaths like that. Inhale. Maybe you add a retention at the top of your inhale here. Exhale back to your normal triangle. And last one, inhale. Lengthen that left side body. Maybe you retain. And then this inhale, come all the way up. Let's all turn. Sorry, my mat is slipping around on the floor. Turn to the long side of your mat. Bring your hands to, actually to your thumbs to your sacrum, hands to your hips. And as you inhale, lift the heart. Maybe invite a little back bend here, elbows are back. Feel that opening of the front body. And then a slow exhale, let your hands slide down the back of your legs. Once you get into your deepest forward fold, you might keep your hands on your ankles or your shins. You might bring your hands to your big toe and let your elbows bend out to the side. Try to even out your inhales and your exhales. And notice the pause in between the two as the inhale turns into the exhale. With your next inhale, let your hands slide up your legs as you lead with your heart coming up with a strong back all the way up to the top. Turn your right toes back to the top of your mat. Bend your knee, step back, downward facing dog. Let's float that left leg up, leading with the inner thigh. And exhale, step that foot up between your hands. So we're coming into our crescent lunge once again. Intertwining your fingers. And then inhale, come all the way up. Lifting the heart here, strong through the legs. So even though we're drawing up prana through our breath, we're also drawing up energy from the earth through our strong legs here. Take one more breath, and then pivot the back heel down, warrior two. Again, find that sensation of energy from front fingers to back fingers, going right through the heart center. Shoulders are soft. Take one more breath. And then straightening the front leg. Imagine someone pulling that left wrist, lengthening that left side body as we move into triangle pose. So we're going to do the same thing we did on the first side, a little micro bend in that front knee. Not super bent, but just a little bit bent. As you inhale, top arm reaches to the front of the room, palm facing the floor. Exhale, come back to your starting position. Inhale, lengthen that right side body as you reach. Exhale. If you want to add that breath retention, if you feel comfortable, go ahead and add a little pause at the top of your inhale in your triangle. Exhale back. Come all the way up. Turn your toes to the long side of your mat. Feet are parallel. This time, if you want to intertwine your fingers behind your back, like we just did in our lunge, lift the heart. Exhale, fold forward. Let the top of your head drop towards the earth. You can also just have your back of your hands on your sacrum if intertwining your fingers is not appropriate for your shoulders. One more breath here. And then leading with your heart, we begin to rise up, coming all the way up. Release your hands. Just take a moment's pause here. And if you want to close your eyes and just feel what's going on in your body, see if you can feel the energy flowing through your body here. We're building prana, moving energy. And then turn your left toes to the top of your mat, bend your knee, step back, downward facing dog. Giving you the same choice I always give you. You can stay in down dog, you can come down to child's pose, or you can take a flow and move through your vinyasa and meet us back in downward facing dog or child's pose. Let's have 5 even breaths wherever you've chosen to rest. Staying connected to your breath, aware of the length of your inhales and your exhales, and the pauses in between as the inhale turns into the exhale. One more breath. And if you're in child's pose, just bring the back of your hands to your sacrum. So we're going to move dynamically in and out of our child's pose. So as we inhale, we rise up on our knees and reach up to the sky, lengthen the spine. And as we exhale, we come back into our child's pose. 2 more like that. Inhale, lengthening up. And the exhale, we soften down, we release. This time as we inhale and reach up, we stay lifted, just release your hands down. We're gonna move into camel pose, and I'm gonna give you an option here. So we're gonna do it twice. So you can start with your hand at the small of your back, like I've got mine, the back of the hand, and your other hand to just cup the back of your head. So just kind of at the occipital bone. And then we move into our camel pose from here. So as we inhale, we lift the heart and use your right hand under your head to lengthen the spine and press the tailbone down with the left. So lift the heart and begin to move into your camel pose, using that right hand to support your head and lengthening the tailbone down with the left. Notice your breath here. Take one more breath. And come back to center. Release both hands down. Actually, let's come into child's pose. Release the low back, hands to your sacrum again. And then inhale, reach up, rise up, lengthen up. Stay lifted, release your hands. This time the right hand comes to your sacrum and the left hand is going to hold your head for some support here. So what we're doing in our camel pose is we really want to be able to keep our breath flowing. Sometimes when we're really straining in our camel pose, we can't really breathe in it. So with a little support, we can stay connected to our ujjayi breath. So begin your inhale. It's almost like you're creating traction on your spine as the heart begins to lift. Supporting your head, moving into your camel pose. Helping that sacrum and tailbone drop towards the earth. Lifting the heart with each inhale. Keeping the spine long. Take one more breath. And slowly come back. Release down to child's pose. And hands can come alongside your shins or to your sacrum again. Couple breaths in your child's pose. And then when you're ready, find your way to a seat. And we're actually, we're going to lay down for bridge pose. If you want to add socks or your sweater right now, you're more than welcome to as we make our way down. And have your blanket somewhere handy. We're not going directly into Shavasana, but we're going to be working on the floor and then moving into Shavasana soon. So just have yourself set up before you lie down. And once you're all set, you can go ahead and lie down on your back with knees bent. You guys can still hear me back there with the heat running? Can you hear me with that on? Okay. I'm thinking maybe that was a no. So once you're set, just lie down, knees bent, feet parallel, and just pause here. Just notice again what's going on in the body. It's really ideal as we move through our practice and all these postures and all this breath work that we take the time to notice, to pause, and come into the present moment. We'll just take a couple breaths here. And then we're going to begin to move in and out dynamically. You might want to let your ponytail out because you're going to have your back of your head on there. So I would, more comfortable. So with your feet, so that your ankles are roughly under your knees, and your feet should be hip width, or maybe they can even be wider if that's more comfortable for you. It's absolutely fine, but just make sure they're on your mat so you don't slip, especially if you put your socks on. We're going to move in and out of bridge pose dynamically. And so as we lift our hips up, we're going to reach our arms overhead at the same time. So as you inhale, the hips lift, the arms slowly lift up and overhead. And then as you exhale, slowly the arms come back down at the same time that the hips come back down. So see if you can make this entire movement take up your whole inhale and your whole exhale. And keep moving in and out a couple more times, just moving with the breath. Let's do 2 more. And then on this next one, you're going to stay in your bridge pose. So as you inhale, lift, reach overhead, keep the hips lifted, and you can release your hands either to your side or to intertwine your fingers under your bum. So this is another back bend, just like we did in our runner's lunge, except we're just in a little different position. So every inhale, think of lifting the heart a little bit more. If you wish to add a breath retention at the top of your inhale, go ahead. We're going to take 3 breaths here and do what feels right for your body. Once you've done your 3 breaths, slowly release down, nice and slow, 1 vertebra at a time until the hips touch down, and then just pause. Feel the sensations. And then go ahead and draw your knees into your chest. Rock from side to side if that feels good for you. And then release the soles of the feet up to the sky. And inhale, reach your arms overhead, just like you did in your bridge pose. Keep extending, reaching through the arms as you reach up through your heels. So the hips stay down on the floor. Arms are reaching overhead and you're reaching through the heels. Keep lengthening the arms. 1 more breath. And then you can release the arms back down. Draw the knees in. We're going to come into some spinal twist. You can extend your arms out to the side. Bring your knees parallel to the floor, or your shins parallel to the floor, I should say. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, let your knees drop right. You can let your head roll left. And inhale, come back to center. I think I might have said that wrong. Exhale, knees to the left. Inhaling to center. If this causes any strain in your low back, you can also bring your feet to touch as you let the knees drop. Right? We're just going to move back and forth from one side to the other a couple more times, taking whichever version best suits your body, whichever version best serves you. And as you come back to your right side, we're going to pause there with the knees down, head rolls to the left. The inhale, we come to center. And the exhale, knees drop left, head rolls right. Inhale to center, taking a moment's pause here. You might draw your knees into your chest. We're moving into your final Shavasana. So again, if you need to layer anything else on for clothing, especially those of you present here in the hall, go ahead and do so. If you want to use that blanket to cover up with, stay a little warmer, go ahead and do that. And I might turn the heat on in here a little while you're in Shavasana, so that during our meditation we'll do after Shavasana that you can hear me so that the heat won't have to be on. Does that work? Is anybody hot? Okay, so go ahead and get yourself into your Shavasana. I'll talk you into it a little bit. So I'm going to turn the heat back on for you. Wish we had a heat system that wasn't quite so noisy in here. Pardon? Can I what? Oh, yes. I don't know how you guys hear me because I could barely hear you. So as you settle in your Shavasana, begin to soften your breath. And perhaps instead of feeling like I am breathing, you can begin to feel as though I am being breathed. And let yourself relax into this feeling. Allowing all the energy and the prana that we created and brought into the body during your movement practice to infiltrate every cell and every tissue as you relax for the next few moments. Slowly begin to bring your awareness to the flow of breath. The inhale enters the body, and as the exhale slowly releases. Begin to deepen your breath. Beginning to bring more and more awareness to the entire body with each breath. When you feel ready, bending the knees, soles of the feet to the mat, pausing here, and then rolling to your side for fetal position, and allow your body to pause here as well. Press your hand into the floor and begin to rise up to your seat. Let your head hang and be the last thing to come up as you make your way into a seat. You might sit on a block or blanket or cushion for our meditation and pranayama. So take a moment to settle. Let your eyes drop closed. Find a stable and steady posture, allowing the sit bones to be heavy on whatever you're sitting on. The thighs to become heavy. Feel that sensation of elongation through the spine. That subtle lift of the heart center, of the collarbones, of the back of the head, moving up and back. And a softness in the belly. No rigidity in your posture. Just elongation internally. And then begin to bring your awareness to your breath. And start to lengthen the inhales and the exhales to a count of 8. So inhaling to a count of 8. And exhaling to a count of 8. Inhaling to 8. And exhaling to a count of 8. Three more rounds like that, counting your breath as you inhale and exhale for 3 more rounds of breath. Collarbones lifted. We're going to slowly build on this. This time, as you inhale to a count of 8, let your chin slowly drop throughout your inhale to drop towards your chest. And as you exhale, let your head float back to a neutral position. So we're working with Jaladhara Bandha. And we'll do that 4 more times. As you inhale, slowly let the chin drop towards the chest. So this is a lock to help contain the energy of the prana. And then exhaling to a count of 8 as the chin slowly comes back up. 3 more times like that, moving with your own breath to the count of 8 to your inhale as the chin drops. And a count of 8 as you exhale and the chin comes back to neutral. So we're going to build on this same movement that you're doing with the breath. But this time, as we inhale and drop the chin to a count of 8, we're going to pause at the top of our inhale with chin dropped to a count of 4. And then release to a count of 8 on your exhale once again. And so do 4 more rounds like that. Just dropping the chin slowly as you inhale and then retaining the top of the inhale to a count of 4. And your exhale to a count of 8. Allowing the mind to be absorbed in the heart center. Continue with your count of 8, retaining for 4. Sense the front of the brain getting quieter as this becomes deeply meditative. Finish the breath that you're on, and we're going to add one more layer. This time we're going to add a retention to a count of 4 at the top of your inhale and the top of your exhale. And if you can, keep the chin dropped through the whole sequence. So the chin drops for the inhale, the exhale, and both of the retentions. And we'll do this for 5 rounds of breath. So chin dropped, inhale to 8. Pause for a count of 4. Slowly exhale to a count of 8. Pause at the bottom of your exhale, drawing the belly in and up. Chin is dropped. And then release, inhaling to a count of 8. Pause at the top of your inhale to a count of 4. Slowly exhale to a count of 8. Retain the exhale to a count of 4. And do 2 more rounds like that. The mind becoming more and more deeply internalized. And melting the mind into the presence or awareness in the heart center. When you're done, your rounds of breath completed, you can release your chin back to neutral and just breathe your normal breath. Eyes closed, noticing. Just sitting with this present moment awareness for another minute or so. Bring your hands to your heart center. Take a deep inhale. Slow exhale. And we'll inhale to Om one time. Let your eyes softly float open, bringing your awareness back into the room and to those around you. Namaste. 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 Namaste.